It is Tips Tuesday, and team, we've got some awesome information. Happy New Year. Hi, Tessa.
Hi, Happy New Year, everyone.
You know, you're starting off the new year. It's a good time to start at the basics with what? Your website. That's what we're going to talk about. Maybe you have a website. Maybe you're embarrassed, like many of our clients are embarrassed when they come to us and they're like, help. And so we're going to talk to you how we help them. What do you need to be doing to have what I call a Google worthy and visitor friendly website, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's critical. Biggest search engine out there, right? You got to make Google happy.
Yeah, and it's your home online, and you've got to make your visitors happy. If you can have a lot of visitors, but if they do nothing for you, nothing when they get there, you failed. So Google worthy is the first step to help get people there, and then putting some integrated strategies in, which we'll talk about, so you get more people there, the right people there, and then you can start converting them into leads and clients. And if you leave that part out, you could have like this most amazing, beautiful, graphically done site. But if you leave out the part that takes care of the marketing, it'll be a pretty brochure online. And we don't just want a brochure, right? We want a site where people take action. So Tess, where should people first start so that Google loves them and they take action?
Gosh, well, these are in no specific order, so we have a lot of suggestions for you. But we're first and foremost, Google runs off of local listings. So your contact information or your name, address, and phone number being consistent across all of your listings out there, but more importantly, actually correct on your website is critical for Google to be able to identify you and tie you to a business entity. So correct Google verified contact info is super important. So that's Google My Business. You actually set it up and have them send you the postcard, verify it. That's a big deal to Google. It's critical if you're going to, even if you're not a local business, even if you are nationally doing business, you should still do this piece.
Yeah. And like people are like, what? I need an address on my website? Well, first of all, the legal part of that policy statement, the terms of service, you need to have those on your website. We didn't even think about
I
that.
know, they're not even in here yet.
Yeah, we didn't put them in, but the privacy policy and the terms of service, the privacy policy is supposed to have your address in there. Where can people contact you in writing by mail if they need to? Okay. So please, please, please work with us. We'll help you get the addresses you need in there, and Google friendly, in the sense that it wants, aligned with your Google My Business. So that means you need a Google My Business. And thank you for the love. That's coming in, Charmaine. Thanks. All right. So what's next on our list?
Oh, and just to say, we did talk about local listings in a previous show. So
That's
Laura,
right.
That one.
So if you're not locally listed, what does that mean? Go back to Transform Today Inc., the Facebook page, and you can watch our previous. It was just last month, I think we did.
Yeah. Yes. So number 2 is consistent and modern branding. Please, please make sure that you have consistency across your logos, but that the logo on your website is the most recent one. A lot of people will change the logo, do it other places, but not update it on the website. And people are actually, mentally and psychologically, they are creating a brand in their head about you. So, if they see something somewhere and then it changes, no matter where that is, website to your social media to anywhere, it confuses them internally, even if they are not complaining about it to you. It's an important thing to get your brand consistent and modern across all of your platforms.
Yeah, branding's a big deal. I am glad you brought it up, because when people say, "Oh, I'm going to design a graphic," they get it all into the new graphic sites. And by the way, we did a whole show on graphic sites as well. Where users and business owners are now really empowered to do their own, or they hire a VA, but they don't keep the brand colors the same. They don't keep the fonts the same, or they don't even match it in any way, shape, or form. Then there's a disconnect. You're causing confusion. The last thing you want to do is cause confusion with regard to your brand. So it's consistent branding, not only on your website, but then make it consistent with how you appear on social media. So if you have certain colors and a logo on your website and design, bring that through all the way
Mhm.
through, because where are people going to originate from? Probably social media a good portion of the time to
Right.
go. And
Until
so
you've got Google loving your website because you're just getting into these tips. Most of your traffic is probably going to come from self-generated posts, you linking to content. And we'll go through a couple other areas that you can generate traffic to your website on in these next few steps. But you mentioned the buyer's journey and really what your branding should be able to kind of help them along in that buyer's journey as well.
yes. So let's talk about what is this buyer's journey. So before someone becomes a customer or client of yours, they're a prospect, right? Maybe even before they're a prospect, they're just someone who has an issue that you can solve. How do you get in front of them? That's the first part of the buyer's journey, is making them aware that you have a solution, or that there is even though there is a solution. They might not even know what kind of solution they need. They just know, or they're become aware they have a problem. Even if it's somebody who wants a bicycle, it's like, okay, well, I want to get in. They may be, before they have want the need for a bicycle, they have the need to get in shape. So what if you wrote articles and put things on your website about how biking is about getting in shape? Not even your product. Maybe it's a bicycle part you have, that you sell.
Well, that
Um,
goes perfectly into the blog section. So I think we'll just kind of bounce around and do that one next. But you mentioned like information that people need, what can solve their problem, and creating that content, becoming a thought leader is very effective for getting attention on Google.
yeah,
As far as being, they want relevancy for whatever somebody's searching for. So you're, local, you're someone who has a solution, has a great article, and you've got all these other pieces together, then your blog will get better. It will get picked up by Google and be available when you search. So you were talking about aware of the of the solution. So the prospect has a problem, and that you're helping to make them aware of a solution, but it doesn't have to be in an advertising form necessarily. It doesn't have to be buy. It can just be information that can help them solve that problem.
yeah. Because they're going to be somewhere on this journey. They may be just aware they need to get in shape. They may want to then be in the place, well, oh, maybe I should do biking. And then you can talk about biking specifically, and how biking is so great for them. And they may already know that. So now what do they need? They need to know what kinds of bikes are out there. They need to know, you know, different things they can do with a bike, where are locations they can go biking that's safe, safety practices with a bike. They need information, right? And this is going to make what I call your site binge worthy or addictive, right? We're all into the virtual world now. Your website is more important than ever. Okay. And you want to take them on a journey. So once now they're really loving this. They're ready to commit, but now they need a bike, or they need a part for their bike because they haven't been able to fix their bike. So teach them how to fix their bike and with your parts, and then sell them. Do you see how far along in the journey it is? But when you take your website visitors on a journey, you don't know what part of the journey they are in. So you always want to have that critical, one of the things we were going to talk about, calls to action.
Oh, yes.
So talk about calls to action.
Oh, calls
what
to
are they? Where
action.
do you
So
put
many people don't put them on their websites. So the calls to action, this is what you want them to do on the website. So you want to stay consistent in your calls to action. If you think about me throwing 5 options out there for you, it's going to take you a second to figure out. Even possibly you will never make a decision. If I give you 5 calls to action, it just might be too much and overwhelming for you. You don't know what's best for you. So keeping your calls to a minimum, and even repeating the call to action throughout the page, it's a subliminal messaging thing. I start with schedule or book a consult in my top navigation corner, then maybe go down a little bit further, book a consultation. Again, down the bottom, hey, having questions about this, and maybe it's a text link, book a consultation. If you can consistently tell them that the one answer to their question is to do this action, then it's going to be easier for them to make a decision. If you can't, because you have more than one thing that you need to communicate, or you think they might go down two paths, then you can have two questions. But when you get more than two, you're really just confusing your target audience.
Exactly. And that's a really, great call to action for anybody who's in the service businesses. Invite them to a call with you. That's, even if you don't have that call to action on your page, you kind of do if you've done the first tip we gave you, which is put your contact information on the page. Because if your page and your website is compelling enough, they're going to want to seek out that contact information and get in touch with you. If you're describing that. Yes.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that if you are going with contact information only, think about what people's natural tendency, if they want to find your contact information, they will scroll to the bottom of your page. So one thing to think about is always to put the very last thing on the page as your contact information, make it clickable, like mobile clickable, because people will and know that they can scroll down to the bottom, especially on mobile responsive websites, to get in touch with somebody. So make it easy. Don't make them copy it or write it down and type it. Please link them.
Yes, link them, put them at the bottom in the footer, like
in the footer, very, very bottom.
Right. So yes. It shows up on every single page. We love that. So let's talk about another tip for your Google, what I call a Google-worthy and visitor-friendly website.
So we have, I know we skipped around a little. Okay, so valuable information, Laura already covered a little bit. But what I want to say about that valuable information, you can do 10 questions that clients regularly ask you. You could create video about it. You could do blogs. You could, create a white paper, whatever is going to get people's kind of answer their questions. And then 10 questions that they should ask. And you can break these up and put them across social media and then drive traffic to your website. They are my favorite. They are the number one thing that I start with when somebody says, I want to do social media content. Like, easy peasy, write down the questions that people are asking and answer their questions.
Sometimes what we'll even do is when we're on our consulting sessions with our clients is we'll record them right there and then they have video.
Right.
And so
open Zoom and start talking.
We're in a Zoom world. Yes, it's great. So I want to talk about another one. So we have another thing people should put on their websites is testimonials and or case studies. Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. And again, video, so powerful. If you can do it in a video form, we do a whole interview product, right, Laura, as far as being able to ask customers certain questions that get you the answers you need to better build your products and services, that also double as customer surveys. So you can see how happy they are. And then you can turn them into testimonials. So it's all in one. It's one interview session. And how long do you think the average interview session is that we do for those customer testimonials? Like maybe 30 minutes?
Yes, they can go 20 to 30 minutes or shorter. But yeah, you can do those. You can, while you're on the line or on a Zoom call with your clients, a lot of times they spontaneously say something. Okay.
True.
And do two things with that. One is say, could I record you saying that? And then put it on speaker view and record them. And you've got a testimonial right there. Right.
Perfect.
And I love the survey part that we do a more robust way of getting results and testimonials, because we get lots of feedback as well on what's working and what we could do better. Now,
like just your marketing approach too, not even about them, what's working for them. You're actually kind of poking and prodding for what keywords would you have searched for? What were your pain points? What is the solution? What solution do I provide that answers your problem? Because you need to know these things in order to keep making the website that Google loves, but more importantly, that your clients love.
There is a super secondary thing you can do with that video testimonial. You can turn it into a LinkedIn recommendation. I have a whole blog at transformtoday.com. Just search for LinkedIn recommendations. But what you can do is take a quote from them and use the formula that's in my blog. And I think we've done some other videos on this in Tips Tuesday, but write the testimonial for them, or the recommendation as it's called in LinkedIn, and request the recommendation with their quote and how you want it to show up. Make it super easy for them. That's how you build your recommendations fast.
I love it. And Laura's really good about this too, because she rewords it. So you really don't have to do a whole lot, maybe add your personality and your saying to, just tweak it as you see fit. But I think they're pretty solid when she sends them over.
Yeah. And vice versa. For the LinkedIn recommendations you have, you could actually turn them into videos with, pictures and words on it.
Yeah, you don't need to have them on the video necessarily
right.
to make it.
If you have their picture and you could have a voiceover.
Yes. And case studies are very similar, but begin with the end in mind. When you're going to do a case study, start with the fact that you want to continually be checking in with your customers as far as that case study. And then as you're doing checkpoints, you might be gathering the little tiny videos. Like Laura said, if you're on a call with them, maybe you're grabbing those little pieces and stashing them away in a case study file so that you can make around a big picture, like, oh, this is what you said your problem was. This is what we did here. And these are the results that you saw.
Beautiful. All right. We have a few more things to make
more. So I know we have a limited time, but keywords, number 8 is keywords. And that's, again, Google wants the most relevant information to show for people. And so it uses keywords in the back end to the coding of your website to understand what you're all about. And that's titles, the H1 tag or the title that you have on a page, all of the things that subheadings that you're highlighting, just like in an outline in a Google Doc or wherever you are. I mean, if you're highlighting this logical structure, you just need to make sure it's relevant. It's what people type in. I love the plugin Keywords Everywhere. It's a Chrome plugin, and we can throw in the link after. It just shows you how many people are searching. It's not, up to date, like current this moment information, but it's kind of a history of what people are searching for. It can tell you how many people are using those keyword phrases, and that way you can build your content around it and make it on your site enough to where Google will recognize that as a keyword. But it's built into the back end. So if you have any questions about that, let Laura know. She can actually do an assessment, I said.
Yeah. Now let's get real about keywords. Just because you put keywords in doesn't mean all of a sudden your business is going to be flocked to online. Is that right?
It's correct.
Tell us why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Google, it basically, think of how many pages are out there in Google's network, and it's trying to find the one, the people with the most relevant information. It's looking for the length of time a website's been in business. It's looking for how much information on the site as a whole is relevant to this topic. Also your reputation with, SEO. Are you producing a lot of great content and therefore have a higher ranking with the search engine so they can trust you more? There's a whole bunch of things.
And the other thing is your website broken? Are there pieces that are broken, out of date, or insecure? So you might have the best optimized keywords in there for you, but Google says, you failed in other places.
Well, it doesn't want to refer someone. It's like if you were referring someone to a business you love. I mean, if all of a sudden their, office is all falling over and everything looks like shabby when you first come out,
the facade looks good,
Right. I mean, and that's true. Google's seeing the back end. So if you have broken links or 404 pages, they don't want to send somebody to get frustrated. They want to keep people in. That's their advertising dollars come from keeping people searching. So Google wants to keep them in there. But I think that the keywords, the other thing is that it takes time. So you don't just immediately get ranked. You have to go through a process of submitting your articles, make sure that you're doing them out on social media too. So Google can start to see, okay, this is a relevant source. Even having other people's articles linked to yours, backlinks. There's so much, and that is a topic all in its own for sure.
Backlinks, yes. And also links from social media. And if something on social media you posted directly there is getting good traffic, go ahead and try putting it on your website too in a blog post. Ooh.
Yes, and that's actually we're getting close to the end, guys. Social media links have to be on your website too. Again, it's a reputation thing for Google to say, oh, you are legit. You have these pages and they are active and current. So definitely make sure you've got all of your social media accounts linked, beyond the fact that people might have a preference of communicating through those channels or want to keep updated on them. which in that case, you need to make sure you have content on those social media pages.
There's
but at least,
two types of social media links on a website. I just want to make a distinction because people conflate them. One is links out to your social networks, your specific accounts, and that's what you put probably in the footer or the header or the sidebar, right?
yes.
Normally it's in a static place on your website and it's on every page, as well as content sharing to social media.
That's true.
So there's content sharing versus social following. So following you on social media links are different than the social media links to share a page, a blog post, but you want both features on. So the links you see within an article or at the bottom of an article, at the bottom of a page, or the ones that scroll along with you on a page, those are the social sharing. Those are not the social follow links, but you need both. And
yes.
if you're because when a visitor comes to your site, you can allow them to share your content. And you can allow them to follow you. So there's two different functions. And we don't have time to go into that, but
I was going to say, more, but I hope that forever.
I love the next one you talked about because more and more we're relying upon this, and that is live chat or messenger bots, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So live chat, even if you don't have team members that can man them, live chat, of course, is a live person, but that would mean that somebody is there to answer. I love talk.to, which it goes to a cell phone. You can be pretty much anywhere and manage it. I do not have time to, generally speaking, be on chat with my clients, but it will work from anywhere. For me, I can have team members logged into it. So they have such good methods of making it at your fingertips, no different than a text message, really. So live chat, if you can add it to your website, because then, people have questions. They are in a on-demand world. That is what we're in. They want answers now. And if you can answer it and maybe even give them, an option to book a time, maybe you convert them right there. And that makes it nice. The other thing about live chat is that you can monitor when people are on your site, and you might be able to just see, okay, they're going from here, and here, and now they're stuck. They're right on my checkout page. Do they need to have a prompt for them to make it past that? Do they, even if they're not thinking about you being there to help them with the live chat, you might pop in and actually help get them past the point where they're stuck. But you can also use chatbots. So there's so much technology, AI technology, that can answer questions for people. And then if they get stuck, it forwards them over to a live person, or even can just have them, reply back by email. So it's definitely a good option.
And that's what we love doing, is we love matching technology with clients and their websites and the right ones. So because there are so many options, especially in the chat world as well. And now I want to talk about one of my favorite pieces of a website, which is landing pages.
Yes.
What are landing pages?
Well, a landing page is focused on one specific topic or your offer or some piece of your business, right? So if you do a million things, the search engine sees you as a 1 in a 1 million match for that item, right? So if you narrow it down to just talk about one of your offerings, one of your specialties, then you're narrowing it down to maybe a 1 in 10. Maybe there's 10 different keywords on that page. Now you're a match, a 1 in 10 instead of a 1 in a million. So it's definitely focusing in your content, and the landing page is designed to answer the problem, give the solution, convert, and then also be friendly to search engine. And I'll let you go into, I know you love landing pages too.
Well, it's focused. What I love about what you're saying is that it's focused on a topic, right? Like, and so many of us are multipreneurs and we have so many various aspects of our business or offerings, but you can just focus in on one thing on one page with one call to action. You can promote that. You can run ads to that. You can share it out on social media. You can drive your clients there. You can drive prospects there that you meet on a Zoom meeting or something. So it's really, really a great way to start the buyer's journey, or to focus in on particular parts of the journey. You have different landing pages. And
I love that you mentioned that too. Run ads. The ads are specific to that target as well. So again, and when Google wants everything to match, this is giving Google an exact match to that specific keyword phrase that people might type in. Maybe then they see the ad, then the ad takes them to the landing page, and then they convert. Now you can see a path. Google can learn what types of people love what you're offering, and that reduces ad costs.
Right.
So it's perfect.
You make it very clear, very compelling, put a video on it, put an offer form on it, or a pop-up exit and or a exit pop-up. And sometimes the call to action on either a landing page or a, any of your web pages is simply a opt in for a coupon. Especially if you're e-commerce, that's a really powerful. It works really well. Probably you've taken advantage of a coupon here or there. So
Oh
don't
my gosh.
forget
And
to do that.
if you have products, they have the spinning wheels of discounts, and those work so well. Just because
Do
you're like, I will give you my email just to see if I can get that 150% off coupon. And it
right.
is addictive. I don't even want to buy the product, and I'll fill it out. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, if I got the 50% off, like I would maybe
Right.
want to buy it. So
Maybe.
very effective. And that's technology that you can put on your website to do that.
Yeah, that spinning wheel. That's awesome. We do that with our client websites for sure. So one thing I want to leave people with is good news, bad news. Your website's never done. Okay. You get it to a certain point and just don't say, I don't want to ever bother with it again. You want to keep evolving it. You want to add blogs to it. You want to update it. You want to make sure things that got broken get fixed. So it's an ongoing process. And I just, I'm a realist and I want to manage expectations here. So just know that that's the way it is. It's not something to fight or resist or get mad about. It's just something to accept, and let's work with it. Let's make a plan to know that it's evolving. And this way, perfectionists out there, you can know that it will never be perfect. So keep going and don't let the lack of perfection stop you. And thanks for the love and the likes here, Michael and Sean and Marina and Charmaine. We love that. By the way, if you'd like a free website insights report about how your website is doing, go to transformtoday.com/website audit and you can sign up for one.
Yeah,
We'll get that report to you. If you want a full debrief of it, there will be a cost for that, but you can have the report certainly on us. So
and just think about having other people's perspectives is very important.
Very important.
Yeah, we tend to live in our own little silo and we don't think outside the box. And getting other people that are continually pushing and evolving and creating, like Laura, that it's just so valuable.
Yeah, and don't leave your website as the last part of your business development. Make it a priority. Your marketing matters. Your marketing, if you could have the best widget out there, but if nobody knows about it, I'm sorry, you spent a lot of money for nothing developing that widget. So let's drive traffic to it. Let's have a Google-worthy, visitor-friendly website. And you'll love this. You'll just love the ability that you have when you do that. And you'll be proud of your brand, and you'll be proud to share your brand out there and your website out there on social media when you're talking to people in the real world, on Zoom, newly, people from your past. You'll feel comfortable approaching them because you have a place to send them that is perfect for them. So go do this. You got this. We got your back if you don't. So please contact us at transformtoday.com. And thanks for the love, the comments, and being here with us. We will be back with another Tips Tuesday shortly. So take care. Thanks, Tess.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.